Hello everyone, this is Jordan. Welcome back to the Daily Gold YouTube channel, and if you're new, welcome to the Daily Gold YouTube channel. This video is being recorded on the late evening of Sunday, May 4th, 2025. Hope you all had a great weekend. In this video, we're going to talk about the key future breakouts that are coming in precious metals. They're not imminent, but after this correction in precious metals, they will be coming. I'm going to show you these breakouts and explain why they're so important. I'm also going to start by going through the recent breakouts that we've seen and why those are important. So without further ado, let me get right to the video. Okay, so starting off here, let's go through the important past breakouts. In this chart, we have three, or well, two are the most significant, but there's three. So the first, which started everything in this new secular bull market, that was gold a year ago, right here, March of 2024, breaking out of a 13-year beautiful cup and handle pattern. Cup right there, beautiful handle, boom, breakout. Already hit the measured upside target of 3,000. The log target is 4,000. And historically, cup and handle patterns, this is a rough comparison, or it's rough data, I should say, because these cup and handle patterns are not perfect. But historically, past cup and handle patterns, they moved from their measured upside target to the log target within 6 to 12 months. So we already hit 3,000. That means 6 to 12 months after that, gold could hit 4,000. So that's still ahead of us, the log target. So that, of course, was the biggest breakout, started off everything. Then the real key after that was this baby in March. Gold against the 60-40 portfolio, breaking out of this 10-year base, finally shooting up after that. Now it's coming back. Now this breakout was powered by this, which is 60% of this calculation, gold breaking out against the stock market. So that was another big breakout. And we have the chart here going back 100 years. And so you can see how significant these moves are. Here we show the breakouts with the 40-month moving average. Moving above the 40-month is really significant. We see that here, first time in a while, convincingly. It did it here in early 72. Also happened here. And again, we're here. It was coming because we got above, the ratio got above the moving average, held above it, then got really close earlier this year, finally did it. Just so significant. There's that, this one as well. I've talked about gold breaking out against the stock market in past videos. Those are the key breakouts that have already happened. I think there's one more. That is gold breaking out against the inflation-adjusted gold price, gold divided by the CPI. This chart here, this is monthly data. It's also broken out on a weekly basis, not yet on a daily basis because you have this huge spike in gold here, which you can't see because this is a monthly chart. Why is this significant? If you've heard this before, I apologize, but there's not everybody who's watching this video has seen all my other videos. But the point is, gold against the CPI, this is a beautiful indicator for the gold stocks, Barron's Gold Mining Index. Other than the 1960s, this area here, gold against the CPI has been a near perfect big picture indicator for the gold stocks. You can see the peak here, the peak here, peak here, major peak here. And it just, the price action is so similar. And we would be, I mean, the gold stock indices would be, I mean, this is a function of low valuations. If valuations were 20 or 30% higher, these two charts would look almost exactly the same. But all that being said, this is a really significant breakout, and we're going to see the fruits of this after this correction when the sector makes its next leg higher, which will be massive. But again, we are correcting now, and we're probably going to see lower prices in the short term, lower share prices, and lower metals prices as well. But this was another extremely significant breakout. Now, we've gone through the past, so let's talk about what we have to look forward to over the months and quarters ahead and why these breakouts are going to be so significant. Okay, so starting off here, silver. Silver against the 60-40 portfolio here, silver against the stock market. So silver against the 60-40, you do have this base here going back since 2014. So this is an 11-year base, but I'm most focused on this right here. This is a 4.5-year base. False breakout here, or at least an attempt that failed. Again, 4.5-year base here. It's pulling back because the sector is correcting. We way overshot in up until a couple weeks ago, where precious metals were killing the stock market of the 60-40. Big move higher, but they overshot. We're seeing a counter trend move now. They need to rest. But again, this is a beautiful base here. This is a 4.5-year base for silver against the 60-40. So look for this later this year to make a breakout, and then that's going to run up here and test this major resistance. So this breakout here, this is going to be really important. I happen to think what I've been saying is when silver breaks out against the 60-40 right here, that clears the deck for silver being able to break 50. Like you need to, this ratio needs to break above here. Then that puts silver in position to break 50. And it just occurred to me, what happens when silver breaks this right here? That clears the deck for silver being able to break that 35 resistance and maybe 37 too. So this is why this is so important. Same thing, silver against the stock market. This is coming up on a 4-year long base. So people, when this happens, you see these breakouts, that's going to be a sign of increasing relative strength in silver. And look, they're fairly close to happening. We get the next leg higher in precious metals and in silver. There's real potential with these breakouts, real potential for a leg higher in silver. So that's why that's significant. Oh, and speaking of silver, let's continue. Here is silver against the CPI, which is the inflation-adjusted price of silver. We've talked about how the inflation-adjusted price of gold drives the gold stocks. Well, shouldn't it be the same for the inflation-adjusted price of silver driving the silver stocks? Here's the SIL Silver ETF, and look at the two here. I mean, these look almost identical. So this is what we need to focus on. This is coming up, or not coming up. Last month, it tested a 12-year long base, silver against the CPI. So again, this baby shoots up like that and breaks out. That's going to be huge for the silver stocks. And, that probably coincides with what we talked about in the last chart. Silver also breaking out against the 60-40 in the stock market. But you get a big breakout here. That means the real price of silver is going significantly higher, and the value of silver projects and silver deposits is going to increase significantly. And that's really, really good for silver producers. Their margins are going to fatten after that. And yes, this will break out, but let me just insert a little commercial for myself. People, the Daily Gold Premium, you want to invest in the best silver stocks, the highest quality silver stocks that have the most upside potential, and gold stocks as well. Subscribe to the Daily Gold Premium because you don't want to be sitting in just this generic ETF. You want to be in the leading silver stocks and gold stocks as well. But again, this is the big breakout here to look forward to. Okay, a couple more, then we'll wrap this up. I love the intermarket analysis charts, gold against this, silver against that. But how about silver just breaking $35? That's going to be a really significant breakout. Here's the quarterly chart. And look, we can see this resistance here at 35. A quarterly close above this would be the second highest quarterly close ever. This is the highest quarterly close for silver. It's right around 37. So if silver closes any quarter at 38, that is a new all-time high for silver in quarterly terms. And that tells us that eventually silver is going much higher than that and will break 50. So silver breaking 35, really significant. And with all that being said, let's get into my favorite of these to look forward to over the coming months and quarters. Boom. That is GDX and gold stocks against the 60-40 portfolio. Here's GDX against the S&P 500. More work, a lot more work needs to be done here. But we can see GDX against the 60-40 peaked right here recently at like 11.5-year base. Now, again, I mentioned a couple minutes ago, this huge move higher, that needs to be digested. It's digested. It might come back a little bit more, long-term moving averages here, but it'll bounce around, and at some point, that will break above resistance here. And people, when it does, you're going to see tons of money flowing into gold stocks and in juniors and exploration stocks. So this is really significant. We talked about last year, the year before, and months back, so often we talked about the importance of gold breaking out against the 60-40. It did it. It shot up. We saw huge gains. Sector's overbought. It's correcting now. What happens when GDX breaks out against the 60-40? That is going to be so massive for the sector. And so as I wrap this video up, just think about it. What is setting up here? Gold stocks breaking out against the 60-40. All the things we went through, silver, the inflation adjusted price breaking out, or potentially I should say, silver potentially breaking out against the 60-40. Silver breaking out against 35. So the way these charts in the sector is set up right now, that next leg higher after this correction, you are going to see money pour into precious metals. It's going to filter down into silver, into the gold stocks. And even after that, you're going to see it go into more juniors, more exploration stocks. So again, people, the setup that we have for precious metals is so bullish right now. It's just very short term. We are in a correction right now. Maybe that lasts another month. Maybe it lasts 3 months. But we are setting up that next leg higher is going to be epic. Put yourself in the right frame of mind. Get your portfolio in order. If you're not a subscriber yet, we'd love to have you come aboard. Those of you who are, thank you so much for your business. I appreciate you. And people, as always, as I wrap things up here, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Is there a breakout that I missed that's coming? Would love to see it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Hope you have a great week ahead.